You talk multiple times about it. In fact, at the end of the book, you say the very first thing you would do if you got to the White House that was different from Joe Biden is you'd make sure Joe Biden's dog was nowhere on the grounds. Commander, say hello to Cricket.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem responding to critics who did not like the story she told in her upcoming book called No Going Back about putting down her 14-month-old hunting dog, Cricket. Now, this story has gone all over the internets, all over the world, and people are upset. This is giving me shades of Michael Vick when he went to the penitentiary for fighting dogs. It's like that. It's like you're going to have a big protest wherever she goes with people holding dogs and pictures of dogs that died and all types of stuff. I mean, it's really, really crazy. And I've been defending her because you're talking about a farm, ranch life. These kind of things happen. When you have a dog that's aggressive and killing livestock and trying to attack people, this is what happens. If the dog goes to a shelter and it's behaving the same way, this is what happens. This is just life. And I understand those who have dogs and you love your dogs. I get it 100%. But farm life, ranch life, a little bit different than your dog in the house playing with treats and wearing sweaters and going to the dog park. Now, before I continue, I got to address what was said at the very beginning about if she was in the White House, then Hunter Biden's dog, Commander, would not be there and he would meet Cricket. What she said is not cruel. It's not unjust. It is appropriate. Now, before we get to that, let's look at the article right here. This is New York Times. It says Kristi Noem suggests Biden's dog should have been deleted too. South Dakota governor defending her tale of shooting and deleting her family's dog, suggested that President Biden's German Shepherd Commander had merited a similar fate. Let's go down a little bit and read some of this. So on Face the Nation, she says or suggested that Commander, who was banished from the White House last fall after blooding a number of Secret Service agents, that the word is biting. You see how they do with the language on these liberal websites. But anyway, that dog should have also been put down. Joe Biden's dog has attacked 24 service people, she told her interviewer, Margaret Brennan. So how many people is enough to be attacked and dangerously hurt before you make a decision on a dog? Now, what she said is correct. 24 people that Commander bit. Let's look at this video from a couple of months ago. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Newly released emails show that Commander, President Biden's German Shepherd, bit agents protecting the president's family at least 24 times between October 2022 and July 2023. It took...
Now, that is Commander as a pup. I don't think that's the actual size of the dog when he was biting the agents.
6 stitches to close one agent's injury, and another agent bled onto the White House floor. Medical attention...
Now, there's the dog right there, obviously much bigger.
And was required in about half the biting episodes.
Let's go back a little bit because they're gasping and stuff.
Onto the White House floor. Medical attention was required in about half the biting episodes. The Biden sent Commander to a new home last fall, although as far as we know, not a farm.
Now, let's pause right here. Some said Kristi Noem should have rehomed the dog, sent it to a shelter. She's going to answer all of your questions in this Face the Nation interview, which of course I will link to in the box. I'm starting a little bit into it because we're getting to the dog question and we're going to just talk about that. Check it out.
I want to ask you again about the book. I know you know this question is coming because there's been such an enormous backlash about your revelation that you shot and killed a wire hair pointer named Cricket, who was 14 months old.
Why did they keep saying it that way? Why they just can't say what it was? She put the dog down. That's what it was. That's like she took a human being's life. We're talking about a dog, and dogs get put down all the time. This is just normal.
Say in the book she came from another family that struggled with her aggression. You'd been training her to hunt. She got too excited, ruined the hunt, and then attacked and killed some chickens. I wonder if you have regrets about sharing this story.
You know, Margaret, this book is filled with vulnerable, painful moments in my life, filled with times where I've made very difficult decisions. The reason...
Pause for the fair use. ABC or CBS, don't give me a copyright on this.
That the story is in the book because people need to understand who I am and some of those difficult decisions. This was a dangerous animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. And I had little children at the time. Our operation had many kids running around and people and interaction with the public. And I made a difficult choice. I think you're a mother too, and you have little kiddos. Would you make a choice between your children or a dangerous animal? And I think
Now, some say, oh, just take a dog to a vet and have a dog put down humanely. I mean, again, people's feelings, because they got pets, it gets involved when you're talking about a place where feelings should not be involved. That's the reality. That's the truth. But let's keep on going.
I would ask everybody in the country to put themselves in that situation, because that's what I faced. And I talk about it because what I'm tired of in this country is politicians who pretend to be something that they're not, that they aren't willing to have the hard conversations and look at the past and the tough decisions that they've made. What I talk about in the book extensively when people are able to get it on Tuesday is to see the whole story and the truth, not the spin that the media has put on this story. The media has put some or removed most of the facts, and what the reason this is in there is because I want people to know that I don't ask anybody else to take on my responsibilities. I understood my responsibility.
And of course, there's a lot of spin going on because she, at one point at least, was a front runner for Trump's VP pick. So a thing like this, anything they get their hands on to make her look bad, they're going to do it. And unfortunately, a lot of conservatives are biting on this, to jumping on the bandwagon that was most likely started by leftists.
And as a mom, I made a choice between protecting my children and protecting them from a dangerous animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. And, and that's the decision that I made.
I described, I think accurately, how you wrote it up in the book. You didn't say the dog attacked people. You said it had tried to bite you.
That's called an attack. Look, if I try to bite you, you would say I attacked you. If I'm trying to bite you and I'm aggressive towards you, like, okay, let's say I'm beating up people and then I come to you and I try to beat you up. You're going to say that was an attack. When the police come, you're going to say, yeah, he attacked me. He didn't succeed in striking me, but he was swinging. I had to defend myself against the attack. That's what you would say. So they're being funny with words, and it's all political. Everybody knows it. And quite frankly, it's getting kind of tiring, but some people, unfortunately, are falling for this. Let's keep on going.
And I just wonder why you concluded that a young dog was untrainable and not just take it to a shelter.
This dog was a working dog, and it had come from a family that already had issues with this dog. And I had put months and months of training into this dog. This dog had gone.
ABL, rehome the dog, give it to a trainer. So she said, look, the dog came from somewhere else where they had problems. So Kristi Noem was the rehome. You see how that works? Oh, you're just trying to kick the can down the road without taking accountability. At a certain point, you got to do something that is unpleasant that you don't really want to do. You got to do it rather than making somebody else do it, because usually you're taking a dog like this to a shelter. What's going to happen? They're going to get put down. So a vet, the same thing, they're going to get put down. Rather than relying upon others to do things, you do it. And that is the point that she was making, that, hey, I am taking accountability. I am taking responsibility, and I'm going to do a thing that others don't really want to do. To take in an animal that already had problems, train it, and then when we realize this dog can't be trained, all right, now let's do the humane thing and put the dog down. It's very simple.
Gone to other trainers as well. So all of that is the facts of the story, and all of that shows that when you put someone in a position where they have to make a decision and they want to protect their family and protect children and other people from getting attacked from an animal that has attacked others and killed livestock, that's the choice I made over 20 years ago, and that I didn't ask somebody else to take that responsibility for me.
Very well said. There's more to this. I will link to it in the box. But one thing I'm going to say as I close, you're talking about country people. Like y'all may or may not know, I was born in West Virginia. Okay. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that area, but I was born in West Virginia. And there's always a problem with stray dogs, biting people, doing things. So if your dog escapes your backyard and it is chasing a little kid, or it might bite somebody or try to bite somebody, it's no big deal to have that dog get shot by somebody. Okay, your dog got out of the pen and got in my yard and was trying to attack me. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it. Listen, I put it to you in a very simple way. If I'm just out somewhere walking and a dog running up on me, jumping on me, I don't know it, and then it's getting aggressive and I got the thing on me, it's going to get put down. Simple as that. Now, If you don't want it to happen, then you got to take responsibility for your dog, have it chained up, leashed up to where it can escape, to where it cannot go and attack livestock. It's simple. At a certain point, as I close, when you're out in the country, you can't just call people, call the police, and call animal control. You're out there. You guys are fending for yourself. So you got to do things that sometimes it's unpleasant and nobody else wants to do it. You know, this kind of reminds me of people that say, oh, well, why we gotta kill animals to eat? You could just go to the grocery store and get the food from there. It's the same type of mentality. It's like, well, let's newsflash. Somebody's got to kill the animal for you to be able to eat it. You can't just, like, where does food from the grocery store come from? Electric car, same thing. Oh, we gotta just care for the environment. Let's plug up the car and the electricity. Okay, now where does electricity come from? A little thing called coal. It's a high demand for coal right now because of all the electric cars. You see the end result without having to do the dirty work. And that is a thing that we can't have. A lot of politicos in DC have that. And Kristi Noem says, that's not me. I personally like this story, coming from a country background a little bit myself. I understand, I get it. And I understand why some people don't get it. But I implore everybody to open their mind up a little bit and get the feelings out of it and just understand where she's coming from. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Kristi Noem said the right thing here? Hey, the dog was already violent and had problems in the previous place. It was rehomed with us, and we put months into training. She trains dogs. She grew up on the farm, grew up on the ranch. Just like I said before, like people said, take it to a trainer. She is a trainer. So if the trainer can't train the dog that already had problems, it's showing aggressive behavior toward humans, it's deleting animals, what are you going to do? You take it to a shelter, it's going to be the same thing. You're just kicking the can down the road and delaying the inevitable and averting responsibility. I don't like that. Me, if I got to do something, I'd rather just do it myself rather than making somebody else do my dirty work for me. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.